petition, although Ms. Cox, did you say that there were some issues that were agreed to?
There are some issues that are agreed
Okay.
to and some that are not.
Then before she calls anybody as a witness, she's going to tell me what I'm going to ask her to tell me what the agreements are. And then as each of you are called as a witness, I'll ask you a couple of questions about those agreements. Okay. So Ms. Cox, if you'd first tell me what agreements you've reached.
The agreements we've reached are that we will Calvin and change
Okay.
both.
I'm sorry, Ms. Cox, you froze up.
I'm sorry.
Just in case I could start over.
Is that better?
It is, but could you start over?
Yes. The parties have agreed that Mr. Hernandez will be established as the legal father of Logan and Calvin, and that both of their last names will be changed to Hernandez. The parties have agreed they will be joint managing conservators of the children, with Ms. Lara having the right to determine the residence of the children, and Mr. Hernandez being the possessory conservator. And they will have Mr. Hernandez will have visitation pursuant to a standard visitation order.
Okay.
And that's the agreement of the parties.
Very good. Call your first witness.
I would call Daniel Hernandez as my first witness.
All right. Mr. Hernandez, if you'll raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You may put your hand down. Mr. Hernandez, did you hear everything Ms. Cox just announced?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Was that your understanding of the agreements as to those issues?
Yes, ma'am.
And as to those issues only, is that in fact your agreement?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Go ahead, Ms. Cox.
Mr. Hernandez, where are you currently employed?
I'm employed as Smith Fencing Corporation here in Lamesa, Texas.
And what do you do there at Smith Fans?
I'm actually a welder.
All right. And do you get paid by the hour?
I do get paid by the hour.
And how much do you make an hour, sir?
I make $18 an hour.
And do you work 40 hours a week?
Yes. Currently just 40. Yes.
Are you working any overtime?
The most I get is about 2.5.
2.5 hours of overtime a week?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And do you have any other sources of income?
No, I do not.
All right. At one time, were you a tattoo artist?
No, I did it in the kitchen of my house, and I did it at home just to make extra money. But it wasn't really necessarily something that it was a business or anything like that. It was just something I did. I don't have nothing that can, I don't run a business or side business or something like that. I currently just stay at home and I take care of the kids and I work and I come home. I got to cook, clean, take care of everything else.
When did you last tattoo?
After when, more likely, before we even broke up or after we broke up and everything, I had to do it by myself with these kids after when she decided to want to leave the house.
All right. How much were you making tattooing when you did it?
Here and there, little money here and there. It wasn't really much.
Can you give me an estimate of how much you'd make in a week?
For something like that, I couldn't really know. It was so long ago.
Okay. So when did y'all break up?
The middle of last year, I'm guessing. I'm not for sure. I know it was 2 months before school started.
Okay, so around June of 24?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And since the two of you have separated, have you sent Miss Lara any cash to help support the children?
I have.
And how much cash have you sent her?
I got a paper right here that shows everything currently.
Okay. We can't really see that well, Mr. Hernandez. You'll have to read it to us.
Okay, the history, I'm guessing this is the history from 283. The total transaction was 3,294, and then the total of that date is 7,814, and then
Okay,
for,
so hang on, 7,814
yes, ma'am, and on cash.
over what time period?
The time period of it says the history of let me see from I got it right here. This is from the time period of last year of October.
Okay. Ms. Lara, you're gonna get your chance to testify. Hang on. Mr. Hernandez, you're not in camera. Could you scoot over a little bit?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
That way, yeah.
I
You're
got
that way.
I got all this
That's
paper.
better. That's okay. So from October of 2024 or October of 2023?
2024. I actually ended up sending her a lot of money here and there because I know the kids were wanting stuff. And like I said, I just ended up looking up on the Cash App just to give me the history of. I went ahead and got the history because I so go ahead and keep detail because I was taking screenshots of everything that I was sending, but it was too many screenshots in order to keep a photo of. But if I have to, I can go ahead and do that also. But
Well, unless you can share it on the screen, then it's not gonna do anybody any good.
okay, well,
Okay,
right here.
okay. Did you pay any joint, sorry, Ms. Cox, did you pay any joint bills? Like a mortgage or a rent or anything that you're also on the paperwork for out of that?
Uh, Meaning,
Meaning like if you're the one that left the residence and y'all
I
had a mortgage on it that you both signed since you're married, did you pay like the mortgage? Is that included in the 7,800?
no, not that I know of. Not with that. No, there was nothing with that. It all that right there was actually just when we were already separated. I stayed inside the house,
You
and
stayed in the house, okay.
yes, ma'am. And
Okay.
she decided to leave, and so I went ahead and just started still giving money for the kids. I got all
But you
the
didn't start until October.
uh well, I was still helping here and there and all that kinds of stuff, paying out of pocket, just giving money. And also I got all the receipts whenever she did give me a holler on telling me that the kids needed clothes and socks and stuff for school when it came down to the school stuff. And then like Christmas and just like anytime she ended up telling me, well, the kids need this, the kids need that, I would go ahead and go get them the stuff. And I do got the receipts on all that sitting right in front of me right here, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Sorry, Ms. Cox. Go ahead.
No, that's no problem. So what was the $3,294 total?
Guessing some of the money that I ended up sending her as sending to her, but it says from total receive and total sent, but total receive is not coming from her way. It's actually sending towards her.
Okay. So the total cash app you sent was 7,814.
Yes, total amount, but
Okay.
total
But
receipt.
is that all to Miss Laura?
Yes, that is her Cash App.
Okay, you didn't send any to anybody else.
No, ma'am. This is her Cash App account right here that I'm showing.
Okay. And how do you have access to her cash app account?
When she either requests or just go ahead and just well, I do have her on Cash App, so anytime when she does give me a holler, like the last time that I actually ended up, she said she needed meds for the kids because the kids were sick, so I sent her some money to go ahead and get the medicines for the kids. So I did do that. So, but I always had it, even since we were married. I mean, together.
All right. How are your children currently insured?
With her, with the Medicaid, and well, she does get the benefits from the food stamps and the Medicaid and all that kind of stuff. At my employee, we do not carry anything. It's just currently just like that.
Okay. Do you have other children besides the four you have with Miss Laura?
I do. I'm taking care of 2 girls that I got full custody of that are living with me right now.
All right. And anything else you think the judge needs to know about this case?
Really just nothing. I'm just trying to show everything that I've been doing currently for the kids, and I see them every other week. When they do come, I actually take care of them. I provide for them when they're here. I gotta pay out of pocket. I don't get no food stamps. I don't get nothing. I do gotta pay out of pocket. So I don't get no assistance. So whatever I make on my check, I gotta stretch it out to end up making it work. But other than that, I mean, anything else, I mean, it's just unreliable.
All right, I'll pass the witness.
Okay.
Thank you. The 2 kids that you are taking care of, they're your biological children?
They are my biological kids, and I have
Okay.
court papers that I took full custody of. It's yes,
Okay. I think what you tried to say is that your employer does not offer insurance?
No, ma'am. The only thing that we actually get is what is that called? I'm sorry. It's if you do get hurt, they pay for your medical bills. I can't remember.
Workers' comp?
Yes, ma'am. That's the only thing that we end up actually getting. We don't get insurance and all that because the insurance that they tried to provide for it was actually going to take like a major chunk out, and that wasn't really going to make nothing.
Okay. Okay. And since you and Ms. Lara split up, you haven't done any of the tattoo?
No, I work when
What'd
she.
you do with the equipment?
No, I'm sorry.
The equipment?
It's all put up. I usually actually just have it just put up. My daughter's been wanting to end up learning in the long run, but she actually is starting to try to look for a job, but everything's all just put up. I really don't have anything.
Which daughter?
Aaliyah.
Okay, how old is she?
She's 15. She just recently turned 15. Yes, ma'am. So, I mean, it's just a tradition, I guess, that she wants to she loves artwork too. Well, actually, both of them. My son Logan. He hasn't done it in a while, but he did like it at the current moment.
So the 2 kids in your household, how old are they?
14 and 15. Yeah, one recently turned 14 and the other one recently turned 14. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay. Miss Lara, as an unrepresented party, you have the right to cross-examine the witness. You haven't been sworn in, so this is not yet your time to tell me your side of anything. Anything you said right now would not count as testimony. But you simply have the right to ask Mr. Hernandez questions. It is limited to the issues he testified about. And it does have to be in the form of a question. In other words, you can't just make a statement and try to get him to agree to it. So do you have any questions you feel like you need to ask Mr. Hernandez?
He didn't start sending me money.
No, see, that's telling me something. Do you have any questions for Mr. Hernandez? You can, no is a perfectly acceptable answer. You don't have to ask him anything.
Okay, I'll wait till it's my turn so I can explain my side of the story.
It's perfect. All right, Ms. Coffey.
Okay. All right, I would call Miss Lara as my next witness.
All right, Miss Lara, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. You may put your hand down. Did you hear the announcements that Ms. Cox made at the beginning of the hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
Was that your understanding of the agreement as to those issues?
Yes.
And as to those issues only, is that in fact your agreement?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Go ahead, Ms. Cox.
All right, Miss Laura, as
ma'am.
far as you know, does Mr. Hernandez have any other sources of income besides his job at Smith Fans?
Yes, he does tattoo. He just
And
posted.
Hold on. When was the last time he was actively tattooing, if you know?
Yesterday.
And how do you know this?
It was on social media.
Okay. And was that his social media or someone else's?
It was his.
Okay. And was that a personal one or does he have a business social media?
Well, he has a like an Instagram account of all his artwork. So I don't know if you can call that as a business or what.
Okay. Did he indicate how much he was paid for that tattoo?
No, he just posted a picture and it got deleted right after.
All right. How often did he typically tattoo when the two of you were together?
He will clock in about close to $1,000 in less than 3 days. If he was really going for it hard for his family, that's how much he will clock in. But on a single basis, on a regular day, he'll clock in $150 to $200.
Okay. And do you know if he's regularly tattooing right now?
Currently, yes,
And how do you know that?
because I have screenshots. April
Okay.
2nd, he did a big old piece on the forearm.
And how much would a large piece typically cost?
For a session like that, from a full sleeve, it'll be $100 session that he charges when I was with him. But now I don't know how much he did in sessions. As currently right now, I don't know. But when I was with him, every session was $100 till he
Okay.
finished.
All right. So he gave some information about the amount of money he sent to you.
Yes,
Do
ma'am.
you agree with those amounts?
No, I sure don't.
Okay. And so does your Cash App show how much you've received from him?
Okay, from all the receipt, what he did show, it was the 7,814. Yes, I agree on that part. But he started sending money since January 26th. January 26th, that's when he had started sending me money till the other day to send me $20 for the kids. And also, since January 26th of 2024, that's when he had started sending me money, but it was little by $45, $29, $99, $35, $20, $10, $15. So it does not max it out to 7,000. 7,000 maxed it out all the way to when we were together, as if paying rent for the back house, to paying the bills, because he was the only one that was working. I did not work for 12 years. I just started working since last year. So all that money he did send me was for the bills when I was with him in 2024. And January 26th, because that's when I had moved out. June 27th is when I moved out. And July 26th is when he first started sending me money for the kids. And like I said, it was only $45, $29, $99, $35, $20, $15, $10, $20. Little amounts like that. It wasn't no more than 7,814.
Okay. And did you have unpaid medical bills for the children that he didn't help you with?
Yes, I do.
And how much do you think those total?
Man, I'll say about 2,000 to 3,000, because half of the Medicaid pays for it.
Okay. And was that a major incident for one of the
No.
children?
No, it was just like sick wise or like dental work and stuff that half the time the kids couldn't pay, like braces wise. I have to pay that out of pocket, and that costs 10,000.
Okay, and that started since the two of you separated?
Yes, I got information on the braces, and they told me it was going to be 10,000 to get braces on him, and I couldn't afford it. And Medicaid's not covering for dental work, well, as like to cover for braces wise. I have to pay that out of my pocket, and then so now I can't give him braces because I don't have that kind of money right now.
Okay, so you haven't actually started that at this point?
No, we just got numbers thrown at us on how much it was going to cost.
Okay. Anything else you think the judge needs to know about this situation?
About any kind of situation, or just like
about this having to do with your children?
All
any of that?
All I ask is that that when my children are with him, I will want him to respect my kid's life with being with him, as in, like, don't bash me in front of my children. If you have some hate towards me, do it on me, but don't do it in front of my kids and telling them, oh, your mom's a bad mom, or she's this and that. Like, my kids, they're little. They don't need to know that. They don't need to think about that as their mom. Because they see me in person, they know how I am, and they know I work hard for them every day. So, and also, I also want him to help pay for childcare. I do want him to help, because starting in January 17th of this year, I made 16 payments of $100, came out to $1,500. This Friday, I have to pay another $100 for my daycare, for the childcare. And that's going to run up to $1,600 that I had paid from January all the way to May. And I would love for him to pay half of that, because I can't do it all. I pay $1,000
Miss Laura,
top of
that's
my
not,
bills.
Miss Laura, that's what child support's for. I can't order him to pay the daycare. That's not the way the law is written at this time.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Anything else? Since I kind of cut you off.
Do
Is there
what?
anything else is there anything else you wanted to tell me besides the daycare?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. Nate,
State
you said you
rest.
would- okay, thank you. You said you agreed, Miss Laura, that you got the 7,800.
No, I never got the 7,800.
You
That's
said
the
the
whole.
7,800 was accurate.
That wasn't accurate. January 26th, when he starts sending money, if you calculate all the 4520, that
Okay.
doesn't rack up to 800.
Okay, but then how much does it rack up to? Because right
I
now,
don't know.
that's the only dollar figure I have.
Because that's the whole time we've been together for 12 years. That's how much he had sent me through the whole 12 years.
Okay, so can you pull up your Cash App and run a report of how much he's paid you since y'all separated in June of 2024?
Yes, I can screen record and show you my Cash App the day he started
Okay.
putting.
You can't
Can I-
run it. You can't say I want to start from here and go on.
And on my screen, I
Here
can do
to
it.
current.
I could do a screen record. You can it will show you the date when I had left that
Okay.
house.
Miss Laura, what I'm trying to get at is, do you have a dollar figure that you're claiming that you've received? It's not really my job to add it all up.
Okay, the dollar figure that I can rack up is about $500-$600.
Okay. Okay. Now, explain to me because you went off into the braces situation. What bills have you actually had to pay out of pocket for medical expenses or dental expenses?
Just to get fillings that
Okay.
they need done, and that was like $45.
Okay. So what's the 2,000 to 3,000 for?
It was for when Logan and Calvin had to have surgery for their teeth.
Okay, so they had oral surgery?
It was
When-
dental surgery.
Okay, when did they have that surgery?
Last year. Armani had his last year as well.
Okay. When last year? After y'all split up or before?
It was before.
Okay. Because y'all are legally married, correct?
Yes, we still are.
Okay. So see that it's kind of the issues that some of this is going to be more permanently split up in the divorce
Yeah.
action than in this action.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So y'all were together, not yet separated when he had the oral surgery. You're just paying off on those bills?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Have you sent Mr. Hernandez any of those documents showing what you're paying and asking him to either make like payments to the dental surgeon or to reimburse you?
No.
Okay. But he was aware when you signed the deal, the agreement to make payments on those surgeries with the dental office. He knew about that, right?
Yes. He was there.
Okay. And, all right. But you don't remember exactly how much you've paid or how much the surgeries cost?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, you said now you're working. Do they not offer insurance?
No.
Okay. All right. Mr. Hernandez, as an unrepresented party, you have the right to cross-examine the witness. Again, it is limited to what she testifies to, and it does have to be in the form of a question. Do you have any questions you feel like you need to ask Miss Lara?
No, I don't. I mean,
Okay. Okay, and Miss Cox, you rested, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Hernandez, is there anything else you think I ought to know?
just because I post artwork on Facebook doesn't mean anything. There's just because I do follow a lot of people that do artwork. I am an art lover, you know, and just because I post stuff doesn't mean that I actually done it. You know, you know, social media is social media. That's what social media is about. I mean, we share stuff, we post stuff, you know, and all that kinds of stuff. And as in giving numbers of what she's saying is just trying to get something out of me that I can't even afford or even do or anything like that. I mean, there's millions and millions of people that share artwork. You can even do artwork everywhere, but doesn't mean that it's running a business or anything like that. I don't consider myself a business. Whenever I was actually with her doing the artwork or anything like that, it was just something just to do on the side. But as in like for something like that, it's just it's careless to end up trying to see if she can just try to get more off of me for something that I'm never actually not doing. That's it.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Okay, when you had asked him for him to show you that you wanted to show the room of his tattoo room, right?
That is actually a man cave.
I
It's
did not ask him to show me the room. I asked him what he done with the equipment,
he still has it.
and he said he has it. He's put it up, is what he told me. Okay.
We got a
But,
building.
okay, Miss Laura, I will point out that you could have figured out how to prove up a Instagram account or whatever, and you could have said, "Oh, he's posting this. Let me record it," and you could have brought it to court today. But you didn't do any of that, did you?
I have it on my phone, ma'am.
Okay, can you share it on the what you've got on the?
On the
Can you
screen
pull it
recording.
up and share? Yeah, and can you lay down the predicate for something like that so that it's admissible in court?
Yes, hold on just a second.
The predicate isn't just, I think this is his account and I think this is that he's doing this. There's a lot of predicate to it. Do you know what that is, and can you prove it up?
Can I into that?
Hang on just a minute, Mr.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Hernandez.
Go ahead.
And was it just artwork, or was it actually him doing tattooing?
He's tattooing. I don't
Okay,
know if
that's
you can see
what
my
he
screen.
posted, was that he was actually physically, here's the camera, I'm doing the tattoo up the arm.
Yes, I even have a picture of that. Can you see on my screen? I don't
No,
know
you
if
have
I'm
to share the screen. It's
Do
on
what?
the tool, it's on, you have to share your screen. It's on the
Okay.
Zoom toolbar. There should be something that says share.
Okay, just a second. Hold on. Oh, share. Okay, see it? Photo, right? Yeah.
It should
Or
just say share. It should specific. It's gonna share whatever's on your screen.
okay.
Okay? Don't, okay, you're in Zoom, you're in your Zoom, you pull up the picture, come back to Zoom, pull your toolbar up to share and click on share. It'll show us your screen with the picture on it.
Okay, it says photo, image from file, document, web, screen.
I think you're in your gallery. I don't think you're in the Zoom for share, because all it should say is share screen.
Okay.
All right, Ms. Cox, I don't actually do it from that end. It doesn't have a list of things to share, does it, Ms. Cox?
We get a click on our desktop, and then we just go and highlight the document we want to share and hit share.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure from a phone.
I'm just trying here. Give me a second, I'm sorry. Can you see that? I don't think you can.
Yes, I can see that.
Okay,
Okay, so tell me why you think that's his account.
because it says Daniel Hernandez. It says back in my zone now. I have to take a break, but I went in hard. I appreciate everyone that went hard. They're patient for me.
Okay.
Y'all the MVP.
What about that account tells me that it's this Daniel Hernandez?
Because if you really hold on, I'm going back to my Zoom. I don't know what happened. Because that's his artwork. I mean, I know his artwork.
All right. What tells me that this artwork is recently done?
Because it says April 3rd. And then also I even have a photo of him tattooed.
Okay. Where on the artwork does it say April 3rd?
On the top, it says underneath his name, it says Daniel Hernandez, says April 3rd.
Okay. That's when the posting was done. Tell me why you believe this particular artwork that he posted was done April 3rd, or was done since you've been separated.
Because my kids, they go over there. My kids
Okay,
go over.
so that's hearsay. That isn't going to cut it. What do you personally know, besides your kids are young, right?
Yes.
So what do you personally know that tells me, you can prove to me that that's artwork that he's done, that he did April 3rd or immediately before?
Okay, give me a second. I can show you another photo. Hold on just a
Okay.
second.
I'm going to have the same questions about the other photo. Okay, when was that taken? But that was taken, okay, that was taken in December. That was posted in December. When, what, how, show me where it says when that picture was taken.
December 1st, 2024. That's
That's
when
when it was posted. I need to know when the picture was taken. See, this is not just as simple as claiming something up and saying this is it. You've got to meet certain predicates and steps.
And I don't care. Okay, which just leave it as that, because it's not going to go anywhere. He's playing it very well. It's fine. Because his tattoo station that it's in the back house, we paid for it together. He makes $400 in that back house. He has his setup all set up in that back house. If you tell him to show it to you, he will show you. It's all laid out in front of. In that, it's not a man cave. It is a tattoo studio. That's what it is. And I can't prove for it because I'm not there. And I don't care about extra money. I don't. But I'm taking care. It's 50-50. Both parents should take care of the kids 50-50.
I agree. All right. Anything else, Ms. Lara?
Nope, that's it.
Anything else, Mr. Hernandez?
No, ma'am.
Anything else, Ms. Cox?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Then here's what we're going to do. Court finds I have jurisdiction over the parties and over the subject matter. I accept the parties' agreement and I establish the legal parent-child relationship between Daniel Hernandez Jr. and Logan and Calvin, the two older children before the court, and I change Logan and Calvin's last names to Hernandez. Now, to get the amended birth certificates, Mr. Hernandez, you need to go down to the county clerk's office once you get a copy of this order.
Yes, ma'am.
Because Midland County requires a certified copy, and the AG's office is not going to send you a certified copy.
Okay, ma'am.
Check with Dawson County. I don't know their rules. Okay.
Thank you.
And then you can get the amended birth certificates and all the rest of the paperwork will flow from there.
Okay.
I accept the parties' agreements and establish them as joint managing conservators. And I appoint the mother, Vanessa Lara, as the party to determine the primary residence of all 4 children without geographic restriction. Per the parties' agreement, I award Mr. Hernandez a standard possession order. Now, as to the issues that I had a hearing on, I find that Mr. Hernandez is capable of earning an average gross monthly income of $3,412.50. I order Ms. Lara to maintain the children on the government medical assistance program, and I order Mr. Hernandez to pay cash medical support, excuse me, of $200 a month beginning June 1st, 2025. That makes his net resources $2,711.82. 4 children before the court, 2 other children Mr. Hernandez has a duty to support, guideline rate 30.33%. I order Mr. Hernandez to pay the current child support to Miss Lara of $823 a month beginning June 1st, 2025. In addition, I enter a retroactive child support judgment of $2,500 against Mr. Hernandez. And order him to make payment on that judgment at an additional $25 a month beginning June 1st, 2025. And I'll enter a retroactive medical support of an additional $1,500 to be paid at another additional $25 a month beginning June 1st, 2025. I authorize wage withholding. All payments must go through the state disbursement unit. Any unreimbursed medical expenses are split between the parents 50-50. From here on out, Ms. Lara, there is a process you need to follow, procedure you need to follow. If you think you're going to have to come back to court to get that money, it is laid out in the court order. Please be sure to read it. In addition, Mr. Hernandez, I order you to pay the court costs in this matter. I make them due as billed to Dawson County District Clerk's office in 30 days. Is that all your issues, Ms. Cox?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Then what happens now is Ms. Cox is going to put all this in writing. They'll send it to me. I'll check it, sign it, send it back, and then the Attorney General's office will send each of you a copy of the order. Now, if anybody does not like what I have ruled, you each have the right to ask the district court to rehear any or all of it. It's called a de novo, but it must be filed in 3 business days. That's Tuesday of next week. If you don't file it just right, you might not get anywhere with it. So I do strongly suggest that if you want to do that, you at least talk to a private attorney about how to do that. It's not my job to tell anybody to file or not file a de novo. I just had to make sure you knew you had the right to file it.